Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Robin's Nest. Boy, did we have a big weekend of motorsport. A lot of stuff happened, so we're just going to jump right into it. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on notifications, the works. If you're interested in diecast hats, t-shirts, auto sports, auto parts, anything like that, make sure to check out our eBay. The link will be in the description. 10% off everything on the store. Until I feel like changing it. So it's going to be that way for a while. Maybe we'll do more. I don't know, down the road. But make sure to check it out. Like I said, link in the description. Without further ado, let's get into it. So if you missed it, Formula One was in Spain, Catalonia, this weekend. Not the most exciting race of all time. Let's be real, it just wasn't. But one thing that blows my mind, and I've been reading a lot online since the race wrapped up, was Max got into it with George Russell, Max Verstappen, George Russell, over a move that George made on Max going into turn one late in the race. Kind of elbowed Max off the racetrack. Max didn't give up his position, stayed on track. The team was telling him to let George go. I think he was in the process of letting George go, and then he ran into George through one of the following corners. I then come to find out that the FIA wasn't actually going to make him give up the position anyways, because George just ran him off the racetrack. So, but the thing that blows my mind is everyone's online, they're just up in arms, like they don't understand. How could Max do such a thing? I was like, have y'all not been paying attention? Like, did we just start watching Formula One this weekend? When Max was smoking everybody for the past couple of years, he said several times that to him, it was kind of boring. Just going out there and just being that much faster, exponentially faster than everyone. So, but the moment a team caught up with him, which was McLaren, and they started racing, he threw his head off of his shoulders and lost his mind. It was Mexico last year where he got a 20-second penalty, 2 10-second penalties apiece for running Lando off the racetrack twice within one lap. And that's the kind of stuff, and the Red Bull ring, they had a dust up as well, which was Max's fault all day. I don't care what anyone says, that was Max's fault. I'm not a Lando Norris fan, to be clear, but hey, I call it like I see it, and that deal at Red Bull ring was Max's fault. The deal at Catalonia, yeah, he shouldn't have done it, but it's Max Verstappen. You should expect nothing less for Max at this point. And then he's going to jump out of the car and he's going to either dodge the question or just not answer it outright, or make some kind of excuse. I don't know, something within that ballpark is what he's going to do. And no one should be surprised at this point. It's been a reoccurring theme, and I think now he's like one penalty point away from a race ban, which is probably not going to happen. Could you imagine Max Verstappen sitting on the sidelines for a Grand Prix weekend? Okay, probably the most popular driver on the grid outside of Lewis Hamilton. I mean, I guess theoretically it could happen. Especially, if he breaks the rules, he breaks the rules. But I just don't see that in the cards. Like I said, I could be wrong. Who are they going to put in the car if he has to sit out a weekend? That's $1 million question. Are they going to move Isaac over from the Racing Bulls? I'd like to see Yuki get a shot in Max's car. I can tell you that much, because that second Red Bull is garbage. Absolute garbage. It's been proven that outside of the first or maybe second year that Sergio was with the team, that car has just been garbage ever since. Don't know why. I have a theory that it has a lot to do with Max and his camp, in particular his daddy. if you'll remember a couple of years ago, or it may have been last year, I'm not really sure, when Sergio won, I think it was the year before last, Sergio won a race. I don't remember where it was, but if you'll remember, this Max's daddy, he got pissed off and went public and was slandering Red Bull and saying that, well, they're giving Sergio better equipment than they're giving Max. Like, really? Do you really think that? Max Verstappen, the future of Red Bull, versus Sergio, who was in the twilight of his career. Makes absolutely no sense. Nope, Sergio just outran you that day. It's as simple as that. The cars theoretically should be equal, but we all know that that's not the case. Okay? The cars are not equal. Max's car is exponentially more advanced. It's got all the bells and whistles on it, all the new stuff, all the fancy stuff, while that second car doesn't. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. You look at Liam Lawson, was terrible in that car for the first 2 races of the season. He's gone to Racing Bulls, and he's been okay. He's been pretty good. Pretty decent, anyways. Yuki went from Racing Bulls, where he was pretty decent, to Red Bull, where he's hot and cold. Well, he's not really even hot, though, because like the best that he's run in that car has been like 7th, 8th, in that ballpark, give or take. Anyways, I know that's not the point that I was trying to make, but the thing about Max running into George, just like, can we just not act surprised? That's all I'm asking. Let's not act like this is something out of left field. And if you feel like it is, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe something like this would happen, you haven't been paying attention. And you need to pay attention. Okay? Because we shouldn't have these conversations. Okay? Cool. We're on the same page? Awesome. Indycar race in Detroit this weekend was sick. Okay? I had somebody trying to tell me yesterday that, well, the gap between Kirkwood and Ferrucci at the end of the race, that just proves that the race was boring, just like the NASCAR race. No, if you watched the entire race, you would know that that's just not the case. Those guys were elbows out from the time they dropped the green flag until the race was over. Racing side by side, beating on each other's cars, and open wheel cars, which is insane to me. The leader, Kirkwood, had a broken front wing from running into, I think it was Santino that he ran into when he was passing him. So no, it was a really good race, actually. Competitive all the way through. Really good. It was nice to see someone other than Alex Palou win, even though there's only been 2 guys that's won races this year, because Kirkwood won a few weeks ago, and Alex won everything else. But irregardless, I'm an Andretti fan. Always have been. Even though, Andretti's, it's only a name at this point. He's not technically part of the I don't know if he still owns a stake in the team. I would imagine he probably does. Just not majority. He's not the shot caller anymore. But irregardless, that race was really good. Kirkwood put on a masterclass. I guess that's what they say. Just smoked everybody. Let's just put it that way. The IMSA race the day prior, on Saturday, I was sitting there watching that with my wife, and I told her, because when it started out, Acura locked out the front row, and the Porsche started like 4th or 5th or something like that. And the Porsches have won every race so far this season, going into Saturday. I remember telling my wife, I was like, the Porsches are going to win. Yeah, they're just going to. And then when they started the race and they ran a couple laps, the speed differential between the Porsches and everybody else was massive. They got up there up to 2nd, and then when the pit sequence worked out because of the overlap, or the whatever you want to call it, they ended up getting the lead from the Acuras. And I thought, like I said, I told my wife, it's over. That's it. Porsche again. But that's not what happened. It just like, I guess it's just the Detroit track layout. It's just conducive to good racing, which ordinarily street tracks are kind of difficult to pass on. And they were saying all weekend that track's difficult to pass on too. But I mean, those guys were getting after it. And IMSA, both classes, passing each other left and right, running side by side, beating, banging. Relatively clean though. I mean, it's not like guys were just taking each other out. It was just good hard racing. And anyways, the Acura ended up winning, the pole sitting Acura from our Shank, which is awesome. Okay, because I gotta say this, I've been a Michael Shank fan since AJ came along, because I've always liked AJ, and Shank and AJ are friends, and AJ won 2012 Rolex for Shank at Daytona, and so I've always been a fan of his. And even with all the cheating stuff that happened a couple years ago, every team cheats. Let's just be clear about that. So I don't hold it against them no more than I hold it against Penske. My whole thing with Penske and cheating is just the simple fact that Penske owns the series and owns the team, which James Hinchcliffe even alluded to this. It takes all legitimacy and just brushes it to the side. Now, if you're an independent team that has nothing to do with the ownership of the series that you're competing in, and you get caught cheating, well, it's a little different story, you know. Because when you own the series and own a team, you get caught cheating. How long have you actually been cheating, and no one's called it because your name is on the check? That's my thing, and that's what everyone wants to know. So it's a little different story, but stoked to see Acura. And Acura, by the way, in Detroit, Chevrolet's backyard, or what used to be their backyard. I guess it still technically is, because it's Detroit, and it'll always be their backyard. But the fact that a Japanese manufacturer came in there and beat them at home, it's like an away football team beating their competitor at their home field, you know. Pretty cool deal. Now, can we just be done with the Gen 7 already? I know that I sound like a broken record, but can we just move on from this garbage race car and build something that creates good racing? Because that car does not. Okay? I'll say this. Everyone said that Charlotte was an instant classic because Ross caught Byron at the end and passed him. Okay, and then there were segments within that race where Hamlin and Byron were racing for the lead. Here's my problem with that. The majority of that race was boring. Okay. When Ross caught Byron at the end of the race, he just passed him, and that was it. There was no race for the lead. It was none of that kind of stuff. He caught him, he passed him, boom. That's it. Over. But my problem with the Charlotte race is the same problem I had with the Nashville race, which is Roger Penske, Joe Gibbs, and Rick Hendrick, all three were pushing NASCAR hot and heavy to implement the Gen 7 car as soon as possible. Roger Penske was public saying that, went public and was saying, if we're going to do it, let's just go ahead and do it. Why were they so insistent on getting that car implemented? Was it a cost cap thing? Or maybe is it the fact that every weekend, those three teams are competing for the win and leading the majority of the laps? That's what happened at Charlotte. You had Joe Gibbs and you had Hendrick. That's what happened in Nashville. There was a good portion of that race in Nashville where the entire top 10 was Penske, Gibbs, and Hendrick. Okay. So they obviously have a leg up over everyone else. In a car that was, we were told, was supposed to level out the playing field. If anything, it's done the direct opposite. Unless something crazy happens, like there's a big tire difference, which is what happened in Charlotte. The reason that Ross won that race is because he had fresher tires than Byron did at the end. Outside of fluke scenarios like that, those three teams are unbeatable. I mean, they just are. And so who wants to watch the same three teams win every weekend? I tell you, I don't. I didn't watch Formula One pretty much throughout the teens. I think from from 2012, after the 2012 season, until 2020, maybe, or right after COVID. And the reason being is because what was the point? Mercedes had a permanent leg up from the introduction of the new regulations. I think it was whenever the hybrid regulations came along in the teens. I can't remember the year. I think it was either 2013 or 2014. And so there's no point in watching, because you knew unless something crazy happened that one of the Mercedes was going to win, either Valtteri or Lewis. And so that's the way that NASCAR is trending. Is it's going to get to a point where it's just Hendrick, Gibbs, and Penske running for race one. It's already there. And then add into that the fact that the car is just so unbelievably boring to watch race. Okay. And then, like, my thing too is I don't understand is this was a hot button issue. This was a big topic of conversation for a long time. Last year, the majority of this season so far, and it's like the last few weeks everyone's just kind of moved on. I mean, why are we going to worry about the car? Let's just not say anything else. NASCAR is obviously not going to fix it, so it is what it is. No, see, you have to continue to press NASCAR as the fan base if you want change. As much as I hate to hear people complain, you almost have to. That's the only way they're going to change anything, but it has to be enough people. And they've done it in the past. People complain about things and they end up changing. Now, their changes may not be for the better that they've made, but at least I will give them credit. When enough people complain about things, they do make an effort. Okay? Just like the playoff situation last year with Logano. Now their solution to that problem is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. It's not actually going to fix the problem. But at least they reacted and did something. I just don't understand why we're this far down the road with this Gen 7 car and it just continuously every week puts on a horrible show and nothing's done about it. The diffuser is still there, which is creating a lot of this crap. Yeah, a lot of the other things. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the car, but a lot of things could be fixed with that car. The flat bottom, and make racing a lot better. But they've shown no interest in doing any of that. None. I mean, we're to the point where the Xfinity cars and the trucks put on a better show than the the Premier category. It's baffling. Also, want to touch on this real quick. Eli Tomac is back. If you guys will remember, early in the Supercross season, he got injured. And the hot rumor on the street, too, was that this was going to be his last season. And he was going to look at retiring, maybe. But I don't know if that's going to happen now, because he's doing the outdoor motocross. And I know Sunday he caught Aaron Plessinger right there towards the end of the race with like a lap to go. I think they were coming, maybe been 2 to go. Two laps, 1 lap, something like that. Anyways, he caught Aaron and passed him and won the race. And he looked, I've watched Eli race for several years now, and I think Sunday he was in the best form I think I've ever seen him in. The dude was just killing it, man. Hitting his marks, not putting a wheel wrong, and fast. Super fast. He didn't get the greatest start, which is why he was having to come from behind a little bit, but and Aaron shot out there and got a lead, and Eli had to chase him back down, but he did and passed him and won the race. His form is the best that it's ever been. So, Eli, if you or anyone watches this that you know, don't retire. Okay? Keep racing. Keep going. We want to see it, man. Jet Lawrence is back too. And I think he won Saturday. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure he did. There was so much going on this weekend with motorsports, it was hard to keep track of everything, I'll be honest with you. A lot of GT racing, which is freaking awesome. The European GT World Challenge was in Monza. It's good stuff, man. The Asian GT World Challenge was in Thailand. And then the Australia GT World. I laugh because I guess the AM class in the GT World Challenge in Australia is usually won by Renee Gracie. And if you don't know who that is, she's a porn star. An OnlyFans porn star. Because that's what OnlyFans is. It's porn. Glorified porn, but it's porn. And so she, her car's sponsored by OnlyFans, which I find interesting. Very interesting. And another thing I find interesting is, so she won her class, and when they were getting ready to do the champagne on the podium, the champagne celebration, she grabs her bottle and runs off the stage and doesn't celebrate. Why? What are you afraid of? You're afraid your makeup's going to get messed up? Well, you just got done driving a race car. Which I know it's not cool in that car. I know it's hot. So I know you're sweating. So your makeup's going to be messed up anyways. I don't quite understand that. But it's people online telling me that they think that she's going to be the real deal. And that may be true. I don't know. The AM class that she races in Australia is 3 cars. I think. Maybe 4. It's not many. Whatever the number is. So, she needs to load up and go to Asia or America or Europe and race in one of those GT World Challenge series. Because the Australia version, in general, not even the AM class, is just not a very deep class, you know? You've got like maybe 3 or 4 cars in the pro class that maybe have a shot at winning. That's about it. I think in total there's only like 15 cars running, and that's pretty anemic. So you can't really get a good judge on how good someone is, I don't think, until you race in a deeper class or a deeper series. It's got more cars, more competitive cars, things like that. I know Brock Feeney races in the Australian version. Brock's obviously a really good race car driver. I think Will Brown competes in it on occasion. There's some really good guys, but it's just not deep, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I want to see her go to one of the other ones that is, and see what she can do. Ignore that. But anyways, if you enjoyed listening to me ramble, catching up on everything from this weekend, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share this video, the works. If you are interested in diecast cars, t-shirts, hats, literature, as in books, magazines, owner's manuals, any of that fun stuff, auto parts, check out our eBay. We have a 10% sale going on. Everything from here until whenever I feel like not doing it anymore. And I'm probably going to bump it up to 15%. And I've been saying that, and I need to, because as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff that needs to disappear. Needs to find a new home. So, and this is all automotive stuff, by the way. Every bit of it. Racing themed books, novels, manuals, all that good stuff. So, check it out. The link will be in the description. As always, we appreciate you watching. It means a lot to us. Thanks for supporting our channel. And until next time, God bless. Peace.
És 100 fölfele. 100 fölfele, jobb 2 tempó, 20-ra bal 2 tempó, 20-ra bal 2 tempó, 25-re bal 2 szűk, bal 2 szűk, és bal 2, majd 50-re jobb 2, itt a bal 2, és 50-re jobb 2, majd szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra. Szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra.